Hello students. So last video I had covered about the male reproductive system up to testes. Okay. So I had given a detailed description about the male reproductive system as well as in details about the testes. Now in the last video I had told that the male reproductive system was divided into four parts. The first was the paired testes, and next second part it was a male accessory ducts, and the third part it was the urethra, and the fourth one was male accessory glands. So this I had already covered, this topic testes, its LS, its TS I had told in detail. Okay, so now today we are going to discuss about this three topics. Okay, so in the first part we are going to discuss about the male accessory ducts. Okay, so let us start. So the male accessory duct, this is the second category of the male reproductive system. So the male accessory ducts is again divided into 4 to 5 types. Okay, so first one is the retitestes, that I had already told last class. Second one is vasa efferentia. Third one is epididymis. Fourth one is vas deferens. Okay. So this I had already told in the last class, the passage of the sperms from the seminiferous tubules to the urethra. I have told in order. So today again we are going to discuss about that. Okay. So the first case, that is the retitestes, I had already told last class that there are many compartments inside the testes, and each compartment consists of the seminiferous tubules, and the seminiferous tubules, each seminiferous tubules are opening at a region that is known as retitestes, are opening at a small region, a tubular like structure that is called retitestis region. Okay, next the sperms are carried forward from the retitestis region to the epididymis, through these small tube like structures. The small tube like structures, they are known as vasa efferentia. Efferentia means emerging structures. So the testes from so the sperms from the retitestis region, they move forward to the epididymis region by the help of these small tubular like structures. They are known as vasa efferentia. Understood? Now next, from the vasa efferentia they are moving towards a long coiled structure that is called epididymis. This structure is known as epididymis. I had already drawn a diagram. In the first video you can see it. I had already explained also. This epididymis is not detached from the testes. For convenience only I am showing that it is detached, but actually it is not detached. Actually the epididymis are present on the posterior part of the testes. The epididymis is present on the posterior part. This is the testes. It is present on the posterior part. This is the posterior region, not the anterior. This is the posterior region or posterior part of testes. So on the posterior part of testes, this epididymis is present. And this is very important region where the sperms are collected, and they are matured here by taking the nutrition. They take the nutrition and they get mature here. Okay. After that, from this epididymis region, it is around 6 centimeter in length. Its length is about 6 centimeter. Its length is about 6 centimeter. Okay. And next, from the epididymis region, at the end of the epididymis, a tube like structure emerges out that ascends into the abdominal cavity. This is the ascending structure. Descending structure is like this. Ascending structure is like this. So this is ascending, means this is moving upward again into the abdominal cavity, because the testes is not present in the abdominal cavity. It is present outside the abdominal cavity in a sac that is known as scrotal sac. Inside a sac that is known as scrotal sac. So again this vas deferens enters into the abdominal cavity, crossing the inguinal canal. Crossing the inguinal canal. Okay. And after entering the abdominal cavity, it forms a loop over the ureter. I had already drawn a diagram. Suppose this is the urinary bladder and these are the ureters coming from the kidney, and the vas deferens, they form a loop like this. From the testes, the vas deferens, they form a loop over the ureter. This is the ureter. Okay. And this is the vas deferens. So the vas deferens ascends, because the kidney is present in the abdominal region, no? This kidney is present in the abdominal region. So the vas deferens enters the abdominal cavity and forms a loop over the ureter. Okay. And after that, it enters into the, where it secretes, or it pours its secretion into the urethra. It pours its secretion into the urethra, from where it is ejaculated out. Understood? Okay, so now let us move to the second part of the male accessory duct. No, that is over. Now let us move to the second part of the male reproductive system, that is the urethra. Okay, so I am rubbing it. So the next part is the urethra. This is the third part of the male reproductive system. Now, in case of male, urethra is a common passage for both the excretory system, that is for the excretion of the urine, as well as for the ejaculation of the semen. Okay. Now, what do you mean by semen? That I will tell later. But first of all, let us write the other name of the urethra. It is also known as ejaculatory duct. It is also known as ejaculatory duct. Why? Because it helps in the ejaculation. What do you mean by ejaculation? Means the secretion of sperms. Secretion of semen. Secretion of semen. And it is also a passage for the urine. It is also a passage for urine. Means, in case of male, urethra serves two purposes, that is for urination also, as well as for insemination also. Okay. Now, in case of urethra, there is the urethra, you can see I had drawn a diagram. It is a small tube, or it is a very fine tube that enters through the penis. This is the urethra. It is a small tube like structure that is present inside the penis, and this is the penis. Now you can say the urethra is surrounded by spongy tissue. The urethra is surrounded by spongy tissue which is filled with blood, that helps for erection. Now the spongy tissue, when it is filled with blood due to some stimulus, when it is filled with the blood, it gets erect, and that process is known as erection. Now the urethra, it opens outside through a small opening. This external opening is known as urethral meatus. It is known as urethral meatus. Okay, and the penis region is the outside portion of the urethra, and the end portion of the penis, it is covered by another layer of muscular tissue, that is covered by another layer of muscular. You can see this is thickened region. This is covered by another layer of muscular tissue that is known as glans penis, which is very smooth. Okay, so that is covered by another layer of muscular tissue, okay, which is known as glans penis, that is very smooth. Okay, so write it. Now this glans penis, the name of the skin which covers the end portion of the penis, that is known as the glans penis, is the name of the region. It is the name of the region, and skin which covers the glans penis is called foreskin. Which is very loose. Okay, so this was all about the urethra. Okay, now let us move to the fourth part of the male reproductive system, that is the glands, male accessory glands. Okay, so now let us come to the fourth part, that is the last part of the male reproductive system, that is the male accessory glands. Male accessory glands. Now last class I had already drawn a structure of the male reproductive system, no? So here I have drawn one part on one side of the male reproductive system, you can see. So here this structure is known as the seminal vesicle, this is known as prostate gland, and this is known as Cowper's gland. Means from here we can know that there are three glands which are helping in the process of insemination. Okay, so first one, now these glands, what is the function of these glands? These glands, they pour their secretion which helps the sperms to become motile and viable. Viable means long lasting. Okay, so which helps the sperm to become motile means they can move easily, and viable means they can live for 2 to 3 days at least. So another thing is that they also provide a proper pH. And ionic strength to the medium. pH is very much important, okay, and also ionic strength to the medium. So these are the main functions of the male accessory glands. Now under that comes the three types of glands. So first is the seminal vesicle. Under this, the first category is seminal vesicle. Now they are two in number. They are present on either side of the urethra. You can see here it is present, and they are located behind the urinary bladder. If location I will say, then it is present behind the, this is the urinary bladder, okay, behind the urinary bladder. And what is its function if I say? Its function is very important. It helps to secrete spermatozoa. It secretes spermatozoa activating substances. It secretes spermatozoa activating substances like fructose, then citrates, prostaglandins, fructose, okay, next is the citrates, next is the prostaglandins and several proteins This is very important. Remember the function of the seminal vesicle, okay. So the seminal vesicle functions secretes spermatozoa activating substances like fructose, citrates, prostaglandins and several proteins. Now what is the function of fructose? The fructose helps to provide energy. The fructose helps to provide energy to the sperms for their movement. To the sperms for their movement. Okay, the sperms that they move by the help of the flagella, they get their energy by the fructose only. Understood? So this was all about the seminal vesicle. Next we will go to the prostate gland. That is the prostate gland. So as you can see, the prostate gland is present on either side of the urethra. Its location is present on either side of urethra. And its function, if I say, its function is it makes the secretion alkaline. It pours an alkaline secretion. Pours an alkaline secretion into the semen, which helps to neutralize the acidic environment in vagina. Where is vagina present? Vagina is the external genitalia of the female. So the alkaline secretion helps to neutralize the acidic environment in the vagina. So that is the function of the prostate gland. Okay. Next we come to the third part. That is the Cowper's gland or bulbourethral glands. Okay. So the third part is, or the third gland is Cowper's gland, or it is also known as bulbourethral gland. Now you can see this is present behind the prostate gland. So if you remember the diagram now easily, if you keep the diagram of male reproductive system in your mind, then you can easily know the location of the following glands. Okay, so location is present behind the prostate gland. And if I say about the function, then its function is to secrete mucus. Its function is to secrete mucus, which helps for lubrication process. Okay, its function is to secrete mucus for lubrication. Okay, now we come to the end of this gland. Now, what do you mean by the word semen? What do you mean by the word semen? Semen is very important. So what is semen? Semen is equal to the sperms plus the secretions of all these three glands. Means secretions of seminal vesicle, then prostate gland and Cowper's gland. These secretions of all these three glands is commonly known as seminal plasma. Is commonly known as seminal plasma. Let not write here. I am writing here. Is commonly known as seminal plasma. So semen is the combination of the sperms plus seminal plasma. What is seminal plasma? Seminal plasma is the secretions from all the three glands. The secretions from all the three glands are commonly known as seminal plasma. Okay, so semen is secreted or it is ejected out from the urethra, and the ejection process is known as insemination. Okay, and the ejection process is known as insemination. It is known as insemination. Okay, now the most important thing is that the regulation of all the secretions, is done by the help of two enzymes. What are they? That is not enzymes, we can say that is the hormone, that is a follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These two hormones help in the formation of the semen. Okay, helps in the formation of the semen, as well as it also releases, or it also, you can say, provokes the Leydig cell to release the testosterone hormone. Okay, or it also stimulates the Leydig cells to release the testosterone hormone. So follicle stimulated, FSH stands for follicle stimulating hormone, and LH stands for luteinizing hormone. So these two hormones help in the process of ejaculation, as well as also they helps the Leydig cell, or they stimulate the Leydig cell to secrete the testosterone hormone. So this is the end of the male reproductive system. Okay, so thank you.